Russia is home to some of the most remote wilderness on Earth. Millions of square kilometers of forests, mountains, and frozen wastelands, where entire areas can go years without seeing another human. But hidden inside this wilderness are stories that are genuinely difficult to explain. From a mysterious explosion that flattened an entire forest, to a mountain where 9 hikers died under bizarre circumstances. Number 5. The Monster of Lake Labinkir. Deep in eastern Siberia lies Lake Labinkir, an enormous and extremely remote lake. For generations, local people have told stories of a strange creature living beneath its freezing waters. Witnesses have described seeing a large dark shape moving across the surface, sometimes followed by a wake in the water. Some reports even claim the creature was enormous enough to be mistaken for a boat. Could it be a surviving prehistoric animal, a giant fish, or simply a legend amplified by one of the most isolated environments on Earth? There is no scientific proof that a monster lives there, but that might be the creepiest part. Because the lake is so remote, there may still be things beneath its surface that humans simply haven't discovered. Number 4. The Valley of Death. On Russia's remote Kamchatka Peninsula is an area known as the Valley of Death. The region is surrounded by volcanoes, glaciers, and an almost alien-looking landscape. The frightening part isn't some monster hiding in the forest, it's the ground itself. Volcanic gases can accumulate in low-lying areas, creating conditions dangerous to humans and animals. Animals entering certain areas can become sick or die, and because the danger can be invisible, you might not even realize you're standing somewhere deadly. Imagine walking through a beautiful wilderness, seeing absolutely nothing unusual, while an invisible gas surrounds you. Number 3. The Almas, Siberia's wild man. Deep in the remote mountains and forests of southern Siberia is a legend that sounds disturbingly familiar. The Almas. For generations, local people have told stories of wild, human-like creatures living far from civilization. They're described as being covered in reddish or brown hair, walking upright, and living deep in the wilderness. Some stories claim the Almas were incredibly strong and avoided humans whenever possible. And unlike many modern cryptids, these stories aren't simply internet legends. Reports of wild human-like beings have existed in parts of Central Asia and Siberia for centuries. Some researchers have even searched remote areas looking for evidence, but no scientifically verified Almas has ever been discovered. Skeptics believe the stories could come from encounters with bears, misidentified humans, or folklore passed down through generations. Number 2. The Dyatlov Pass Incident. February 1959. 9 experienced hikers traveled into the Ural Mountains. They never came back. Their tent was eventually discovered on the slopes of Kholat Shakh, but investigators found something deeply disturbing. The tent had been cut open from the inside. The hikers had apparently fled into the freezing darkness without proper clothing. Their bodies were later discovered scattered around the mountain. Some had severe injuries. For decades, people proposed everything from avalanches and katabatic winds to secret military experiments, then even something supernatural. The mystery became one of the most famous unexplained incidents in Russian history. Modern investigations have provided plausible natural explanations, particularly an unusual snow slab avalanche. But one question still makes the story terrifying. What made 9 experienced hikers abandon their shelter and run into a freezing wilderness in the middle of the night? Number 1. The Tunguska Event. June 30th, 1908. Deep in the Siberian wilderness, something enormous exploded above the ground. The blast flattened an estimated 2,000 square kilometers of forest, destroying tens of millions of trees. People hundreds of kilometers away reported strange atmospheric effects, and the explosion was so powerful that its effects were detected far beyond Siberia. But here's what makes Tunguska so creepy. There was no obvious impact crater. Whatever caused the explosion appears to have detonated high above the Earth's surface. The leading scientific explanation is that a space object entered the atmosphere and exploded in an enormous airburst. But because there was no conventional crater and very little obvious surviving material, the event became fertile ground for extraordinary theories: alien spacecraft, black holes, secret weapons, and other ideas far stranger than anything scientists accept today. The truth is probably much less supernatural, but perhaps even more terrifying, because Tunguska demonstrated what can happen when a cosmic object enters Earth's atmosphere over an isolated wilderness. And on that morning in 1908, something from space exploded over Siberia, with enough force to flatten an entire forest. So next time you look at the endless forests of Siberia, remember, some mysteries aren't hiding in abandoned buildings or haunted houses. They're hiding in places so enormous, humanity has barely explored them. Which one would you investigate? Tunguska, Dyatlov Pass, or the Potomsky crater?